Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys free agency, what to do with the impending defensive free agents. Earlier, we discussed the free agents that the Cowboys need to retain on offense. You can argue that Dallas needs to burn most of their resources to fix a porous defense from last season. Here's what Dallas should do with these upcoming free agents on defense. Kenneth Murray, linebacker, let go. When you review the 2025 Cowboys defense, a lot of their problems stemmed from their play at linebacker. Kenneth Murray was predominantly the primary linebacker on the field on all three downs. What we saw from Murray was him out of position, out of his proper gap, and more times than you'd like to see, unable to make tackles. To say he was one of the worst linebackers in the NFL last season isn't entirely hyperbole. Per PFF, Murray had a 38.8 grade, ranked 85 out of 87 linebackers. A change of culture on defense starts with shedding underperforming players and getting them out of a prominent role on the field. Donovan Wilson, safety, let go. In run support and as a short area defender, you like what Donovan Wilson can do. However, his range at safety and inability to cover in man coverage are a detriment to the defense. When you factor in his unique skill set, which was catered to former defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, Wilson doesn't fit in where Dallas is and apparently will be transitioning to once the new defensive coordinator is in charge. Dallas also has a similar player on the roster in Marquise Bell, albeit not as productive, but a linebacker, safety hybrid much like Wilson. Dallas is expected to revamp the safety position as a whole, as they are going to be linked to safety prospects in the draft. Dante Fowler, edge, let go. After a one-year stop with the Washington Commanders, Dante Fowler was back in Dallas on a modest $6 million contract. At the time, it made sense. Fowler was coming off a 10.5 sack season and would be a good depth option for the Cowboys' defensive line. Yet, like his 2023 season in Dallas, Fowler's production fell off, and he only had 3 sacks. So far in his time with the Cowboys, Fowler has accumulated 13 sacks. Not terrible, but not enough to where he's a must-have in the coming years. Ultimately, Dallas would be better off letting Fowler leave because of the next impending free agent. Jadeveon Clowney, edge, re-sign. Dallas must find a way to keep Jadeveon Clowney. For as bad as the Cowboys' defense was last year, it would have been easy for Clowney to mail it in and give substandard effort, but that wasn't the case. At 32 years old, the former 3-time Pro Bowler was chasing down mobile quarterbacks and totaled 22 pressures on 44% of the defensive snaps. In all, he had 8.5 sacks in 13 games, which led the team in that category. That kind of effort is what you want on a consistent basis. Both sides seem interested in coming together for a new contract, so let's make it happen. Sam Williams, edge, let go. For one reason or another, things haven't clicked for Sam Williams as many would have hoped. Injuries have played a factor. Williams suffered a torn ACL prior to the 2024 season that kept him out for the entire season. He played all 17 games this season and only registered 1 sack, despite having regular playing time. There's certainly a lot of untapped potential with Williams as he's very versatile and provides impactful plays on special teams. However, that potential doesn't seem as if it'll get realized in Dallas. Williams has had a few off-the-field incidents as well, therefore, investing in him on a new contract would be somewhat treacherous. Jack Sanborn, linebacker, let go. The Cowboys' linebacker room needs a fresh start. Sanborn played in only 6 games before being placed on injured reserve, ending his season. He was brought into Dallas primarily because of his relationship with Matt Eberflus, who is no longer with the team, which also means one of his biggest supporters is not around anymore. Going forward, the Cowboys' primary linebacker rotation needs to consist of DeMarvion Overshown and some new recruits. Maris Lofau and Shamar James will also try to fight their way into that mix. Wana Thomas, safety, re-sign. Wana Thomas is a restricted free agent, which means a team would have to give the Cowboys compensation to sign him away, assuming Dallas places a tender on him. Much of Thomas's 2025 season was derailed by migraines that kept him off the field. Still, Thomas feels like an interesting prospect that the Cowboys have a little more time to see through. He's got great size and has shown range to play in the middle of the field. He does have to be more consistent as a tackler, but he has also shown himself to be a key contributor on special teams. Dallas could place a second-round tender on Thomas, which would cost approximately $5 million. A pricey cost to pay without the benefit of knowing that Thomas can step into a starting role next year. To a lesser cost, Dallas could tender Thomas with the right of first refusal, approximately at $3 million, and allow the Cowboys the option to match a team's offer for Thomas. NFC East rival allows Cowboys to interview coach candidate. The Dallas Cowboys' pursuit of a new defensive coordinator to replace the fired Matt Eberflus has continued to widen, and now includes two in-division candidates. Reports on Wednesday say that Dallas has sought interviews with Christian Parker, the Eagles' defensive backs coach and passing game coordinator, and Charlie Bullen, who was the Giants' interim defensive coordinator this season. According to NFL Network's Mike Garafolo, the request for Bullen was granted. Garafolo originally wrote on Twitter, X, a name that's come up a few times as a defensive coordinator candidate for prospective head coaches, Charlie Bullen. The Giants' defense with him as interim defensive coordinator improved in many areas: points, yards, takeaways, etc. The league noticed, and he's firmly a defensive coordinator candidate for 2026. Garafolo then pointed out that the Cowboys requested an interview, and finished with, doubling back here. No block. Bullen is free to interview with the Cowboys. The Cowboys also added Parker to their list of candidate interviews, according to NFL insider Jordan Schultz. Schultz wrote on Twitter, X, sources, the Cowboys are requesting permission to interview Eagles defensive backs coach and pass game coordinator Christian Parker for their vacant defensive coordinator job. Parker, who has been coaching since age 22, has received DC interviews in the past and has been a key part of Vic Fangio's defenses. Both Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell were named first-team All-Pro under Parker's coaching this past season. That brings the total herd of Cowboys candidates to 8, with a ninth, the Falcons' Jeff Ulbrich, having been requested but denied by the team. There's a chance that Ulbrich could be allowed to pursue the job in time.